guys, this is Carissa at Inky Fairy Designs, and I am on the Ranger blog today, and I'm working with the Dina Weekly Media Scribble Sticks on the Dina Weekly Media board. So this is the large 9x12 board, and I am going ahead and prepping it with some of her white gesso. And this is just because when I'm working with the Scribble Sticks, I prefer the way they work on top of a gessoed surface, and they seem to blend and move more. And while I am planning to do a more loose scribbly look, I do want to have the colors blend into each other, and so I am that's why I prepped my page basically. So I love drawing pumpkins. I think it's because it's a very simple shape. It's basically a circle that's kind of rounder or taller on the sides and a little bit concave, and it's just really not a difficult thing to draw. And so it doesn't intimidate me, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to draw pumpkins with the Scribble Sticks, because I was comfortable with that, and I think that it's a very easy shape to draw if you're new or beginner or kind of, hesitant to draw like me. It's really simple to do. And then drawing with the Scribble Sticks is just so much fun because you have a little bit more control, but you can also blend it out with water, like that's what I'm doing right now. So I just have a jar of water off to the side, and I'm using some of the Dina Weekly brushes, the short-handled brush, and these are great for this technique because they have a softer tip, softer bristles, and so they actually do really well for this kind of technique. I have watercolor brushes, and when I am watercoloring, I will definitely reach for those, but for this, they worked absolutely perfect. And so I was able to kind of scrub those lines away with the water. The only thing that I could tell you, as I'm like watching this and kind of remembering when I was creating it, is that you can see I go for water a lot more than I would if I was using a watercolor brush, but that's not like a huge deal. To me, it's not a deal breaker. I still love the way this turned out. I love this look, the very loose watercolor look. That's kind of my style, and I was so happy to be able to get that look with the Scribble Sticks. So I just kind of scrub out that color, and then you can see when I want more color in certain areas, I flip the crayon over, so I'm not using the pointy tip. I'm using like the back flat tip of the Scribble Stick, and I can pick up more color and just pop it wherever I want it. So it's really great. I love that I can use these both ways, where I can draw my shapes onto my canvas or my art journal pages and kind of get down a foundation, and then I can go in and add more color directly from the sticks with my paintbrush, just adding a little bit of water. So I'm just kind of deepening the shadows where I want them to go, and this little pumpkin is in front of my other pumpkin, so I'm adding a little bit shading there. I brought in the color Night. So I think the colors that I used from the Scribble Sticks was tangerine, I think is the orange in there, and then the brown is burnt umber, and the Night, and I bring in the yellow later, which is lemon, I think. Yeah, I think it's lemon. I don't know. I don't have them in front of me. But then one thing that I love to do in my watercoloring, and I decided to try it with the Scribble Sticks, is bring a little bit of splatters in. And so you can see that was really easy to do. I just loaded up my brush with a lot of water and kind of flicked it directly from that flat end of the Scribble Stick. And it gave me some really fun splatters, which I just love because they land in the wet and dry areas. They kind of move and blend on their own, and it just adds a lot of that loose texture And it's just fun to kind of see how the colors react and kind of blend into each other. So I wanted to create a light blue sky, so I picked up, I think it's turquoise in the Scribble sticks. I will have a complete list of accurate colors that I used on the Ranger blog. You can check that out along with some step out photos if you're interested in that and you want to know exactly the colors I used on this painting. So you can see here, even when I'm using the larger brush, I can pick up that color directly from that flat end of the stick. And then this is, oh, the splatters are just so much fun. If you haven't ever tried that, you've got to try that. I think I love how like the splatters landed on my pumpkins, which were still a little bit damp, and they kind of just spread around. And it just really ties in that sky with my pumpkins, and then it kind of goes into like this really pretty green where they blend together. It's just so pretty. Just makes me happy. So I wanted to kind of outline my pumpkins a little bit more, so I brought in that, you could see my background was still wet, and I just drew right on there with the Scribble stick. So you can definitely use them on the wet surface, and it's not a problem. That corner of the pumpkin on the upper right just makes me so happy, the way that it kind of bled into the sky. I just love that look of watercolors. I know it's definitely a preference as far as like if you like loose watercolors or if you don't like loose watercolors, but that's definitely my style, and it just was really fun to kind of play with the Scribble sticks in this way. So I did let my surface dry a little bit before I came in with some of that yellow I was mentioning earlier. I just wanted to add a little bit of highlights. I wanted to add more color to my pumpkins. You'll see as I get to my quote, kind of the inspiration, how I work is, you know, if I want to do a seasonal painting or something, I like to look at quotes, and I have a quote board on Pinterest, and one of the quotes that spoke to me was, Mother Nature has the best box of crayons, and I really do truly believe that, and especially you can see it in the fall, which was the inspiration for my painting here today. So I wanted to bring, I wish I would have brought in a little bit more color, but you'll see here, I'm using the Perfect Pearls pen, and this is the brush tip pen, to do a little bit of hand lettering on my canvas. Now this took me a little while, and the longest part was me actually committing to doing it, because I was really nervous that, you know, I had the way that I wanted it to look in my head, and I love the Perfect Pearls, and I love the look of lettering with Perfect Pearls, but I have never tried to letter with the Perfect Pearls pens and the Perfect Pearls on a canvas. So that was my hesitation, and I was really, really worried that I would come to this point, love my pumpkins, love my painting, and then try to add this awesome quote and ruin it all. So I sat and kind of let it like simmer in my mind, and I tested it. I did test it on a small piece of media board, because they come in 3x3, 4x6, and 9x12, I believe. And so I did try it on the smaller one, and when I liked the results of that, then I went ahead and committed to my canvas. So I just lettered that on with that Perfect Pearls pen, and the idea is you can just with this brush, and it's a special brush for Perfect Pearls. It's very, very full, and I wouldn't get it wet. I don't know if you can. I probably should look into that, but I wouldn't get it wet. You know, you want to use it dry and let that kind of adhere. The color of the powdered pigment will adhere to wherever your pen is, because it's kind of like a sticky, inky kind of substance, and that's why it's completely clear until you add the Perfect Pearls powder on top. And so I'm just kind of, I added it where I wanted, and now I'm kind of brushing it or pouncing it into and making it stick to all of that lettering that I have. And I am super happy. I took it to the trash can and kind of brushed it off a little bit more, and then it really brushed off all the way, you know, with that really pretty brush. So I'm so happy with the way it turned out. I was done. I signed it, and that's it. It's a very simple project. I love the Scribble sticks, and I love the loose watercolor effect that I can get with them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this project. Again, thanks Ranger for having me as a guest artist, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.